Good time of day, guys! My name is Godzi, and welcome back to another episode of Higurashi When They Cry, Ch.3 Tatarigoroshi. Last episode, we began this chapter as Keiichi tried to cook, failed, almost burned down his house, and got shown up by Satoko. Awesome. Very eventful first episode. Honestly, so far, probably the most entertaining first hour of any chapter so far. I don't know. The first hour of Watanagashi kind of felt slow-ish, even if it was entertaining. And I don't even remember how Onikakushi technically started. Like, he was just kind of, Keiichi's just there, look at all the characters, goodbye, hello again, you know? That's just kind of how it went, it felt, I don't know. But that's just kind of how introductions go, I guess. But anyways, before we get into the bulk of the episode, there's a few things to talk about. I did not mean to scroll, you motherfucker. I meant to scroll on my frickin' internet browser. I have one comment from last episode to discuss, and there's definitely some stuff to discuss. We're not going into spoiler time yet, because, yeah, I'll let you guys know when we do. There's not too much spoiler talk anyways, because there hasn't been a new episode of the anime yet, and nothing much has happened in this arc yet either, so there's not really anything to discuss for the future anyway, so I'll just go through the comment step by step, I guess. So, this comment's from Dapper Shinks, and goes as follows. There are guides online about what console arcs are accessible based on your place in the series. You can easily find them. Can't link them myself because sometimes YouTube deletes comments with links. I think 7th Mod themselves have a guide. That's good to know. I don't know when I'm gonna do the console arcs. I would imagine, like, I don't know. Maybe when the Go anime's finished, I'll do some of them. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just wait until I'm completely done. Because I wouldn't imagine any of the console arcs are necessary to fully understanding the main 8 chapters. So maybe I'll just do them when I'm done with Matsuri Bayashi. But that could be, like, in April. That could be fucking November of next year. We'll have to wait and see as far as that goes. But good to know that that's how it works, I guess. That I could technically do some of the console arcs now, I suppose, but I don't think I'm gonna, at least for a short while. Pretty sure the Nippos were there before, and it's a choice of artistic liberty on the part of whoever was responsible for translating. Great. That's kind of weird, but I don't know. Because it's, like, kind of indicative of Rika's character, the whole Nippa thing. It's her go-to catchphrase, after all, so, yeah. Actually, Himatsubushi wasn't planned while Higurashi was being made. It was originally going to be 6 chapters, the 4th being Mayakashi, which I think is the 5th one. Tatarigoroshi is a little bit shorter than the previous 2 arcs, but more dense with significant moments, hence its longer anime adaptation, question mark. That's interesting, but then that begs the question of, if it was originally going to be 6 chapters, which other one was not going to exist? I don't know. I would imagine not Mayakashi. Well, I guess I'd have to imagine from the remaining 4 Minagoroshi, probably. If I had to guess. I don't know. But that's actually surprising that Tatarigoroshi is a bit shorter than Onikakushi and Watanagashi. So, I guess that means we'll get through this one a bit faster. We might be done with it, like, episode 10 or 11 then, maybe? As opposed to 12, 13, 14, but we'll have to see. Because it depends on how the chapters divide themselves. Watanagashi, if it had divided itself more, then I probably would have been, it would have probably gone on to like 16, 17 episodes with a similar runtime. But there were some long chapters in Watanagashi, so yeah. Onikakushi didn't really follow in the same way. Like, there were some long chapters in Onikakushi, but not a ton, so, yeah. So now, this isn't really spoilers, so I guess we'll just, yeah, I guess there's not really any spoilers to discuss. So I'll just read this part too. So I did some basic math. There are 18 episodes of Go left to air, or this season if there's going to be more. We can add one for the in-between core, for the between core break for a total of 19 weeks. Assuming no episode is skipped or replaced with a buffer. Kind of missed last time, but oops. That happens sometimes. This playthrough is paced at 3.5 episodes a week. 3.5 times 19 equals 66.5, rounds to 67. Just roughly estimating based on the lengths of the previous 2 arcs in the series, you should be able to get through Sumihoroboshi with a handful of days to spare. That's just if you feel like riding the Go hype all the way through, and nobody will be upset if you decide to take a break earlier. Aside from obviously the question-answer arc split, though, Sumihoroboshi is a pretty damn solid endpoint. It marks the turning point for the series, and by then you've unlocked most of the console arcs, including the very infamous one about the post-Sumihoroboshi future, if you'd want to return by catching up on those or something. Stuff to think about. Definitely stuff to think about. I think you could probably assume I'll miss an episode here or there. Like, every 5th episode or so I'll probably miss, because just life happens. I mean, like, once this month is over, it should be a lot easier for me to not miss episodes. Well, hell, probably, like, the week of Thanksgiving. It'll probably be a lot easier, because the reason why I missed so many episodes, not just of this series, but other series, too, like, I haven't, for example, Persona 4 Golden, I've missed 6 episodes of that so far, in a row. I have not uploaded it since October, and today is the 11th of November for me. This episode will be going up on the 12th. The reason I miss episodes is either because of just coincidental stuff that I have to do, because, like, weekends I shouldn't be missing episodes on, but sometimes I still do, like, if I'm tired or depressed, because sometimes I get into those funks, like this past Sunday, I definitely did, but that's also kind of due to the heat wave that's been going through my area, which should be leaving tomorrow. It's going to be a lot colder tomorrow, so should be easier to record, because it's hard for me to record over the summer. Holy shit, you would not believe it. I need either a quieter air conditioner or a fan in order to actually record for extended periods of time without hurting myself, so yeah. But, I don't know, it's fall now, so it should be fine. Anyways, I also have my windows open right now, so you're gonna hear cars going by that are pretty loud. And just my fucking luck with where I happen to live, so, yeah. But, like, the reason why I've been missing some episodes here and there is just because of school, really. Work, not so much, but because of when, like, it's Zoom calls, mostly, so it's not really that bad. But it's like, on Monday and Wednesday, I'm not really done with classes until 6:30, usually. And by that point in the day, either I just want to do nothing or play Genshin with my friends, or play some other thing with my friends. So that's just kind of how the chips fall sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like, fine, I'll record something. But I can usually only, like, pick one or the other series that I'm doing at the time to actually continue. And I can't record earlier in the day because I have work and my brother doesn't want me recording while he's in Zoom calls, which is entirely fair. He used to be okay with it, but now he's just like, no, you're just too loud, dude. So, yeah, that's fine. I completely get it. I wouldn't want him screaming during my Zoom call. Well, honestly, I don't think I'd care if he was screaming during mine because I don't pay too much attention. I'm an English creative writing major. Nothing the professor's saying is going to really affect my interpretation of what I read and write. So, yeah, that's kind of why I like my major. It's more my own thoughts. I write about my own thoughts, or I just write stories and I get grades for it. Woohoo. I don't really take very informational classes, just interpretive ones, so it's not that bad. But my brother's still in high school, so he's got more informative stuff to actually focus on. And he probably has to participate more. I've heard he's even forced to have his camera on during Zoom calls, which, ouch, I don't even have one. Well, I do, but I don't use it. So, I just don't use the camera because I don't fucking want people to see me, you know? I don't even do it on YouTube because, I don't know, it just covers the screen. I don't like face cams anyways. You either, like, make the video smaller or you put your webcam over part of the game, which is just a lose-lose, you know? So yeah. Anyways, long-winded way of saying, for the most part, it's going to be way easier for me to record come the week of Thanksgiving because I'll have less Zoom calls to actually participate in. And I won't actually have to go to campus for one of my physical classes because I have only one physical class and I commute. It's like 30 minutes away. So, yeah, kind of fucking annoying because that class could easily be translated online and it usually is. Like, we only really go to campus once every third class, but still, fucking annoying. But that's besides the point. Just my long-winded way of saying, sometimes I'll miss an episode, and there's a variety of reasons that could be. This is probably a very stupid discussion, but I don't know, maybe you guys know more about me now. Creepy that people on the internet know things about me, but it's like, if I didn't want people to, then I shouldn't be putting myself out there, but I do because it's fun, so why not? As far as where I'll stop with Higurashi, part of me wants to go all the way through to the end of Matsuri Bayashi, but then part of me is just like, I'll probably just go through to the end of Go, finish whatever arc I'm on by then, and just take a break, probably play, like, I still need to play Corpse Party Blood Drive. That's what I was initially planning on playing in between Onikakushi and Watanagashi, but then the anime proved to just change everything, so I was like, well, I think I gotta continue with Higurashi for now then. So, that might be what I do. At the end of Go, I'll probably play, Blood Drive, and then I'll go straight back into Higurashi, but we'll have to wait and see. So, I don't know whether I'll be... If I miss episodes, realistically, I'll probably be, like, either towards the end of Mayakashi, somewhere in the middle of Sumi Horoboshi, maybe. I don't know how long those arcs in particular are. But I know they have more episodes than Onikakushi and Watanagashi and Tatarigoroshi in the original anime. At least I think. No, I think Sumi Horoboshi has just as many as Tatarigoroshi, but I don't know. We'll see. I guess. I don't know. I might take like a few days off in between like Himatsubushi and Mayakashi when I get there. I don't think I'll need one between Tatarigoroshi and Himatsubushi because Himatsubushi, from what I can tell, is very short compared to the other arcs, so yeah. Sorry if you hear talking in the background. My brother has his girlfriend here also, so yeah, he's just wild, so you know. Otherwise, that's really all there is to say, so let's just begin. I don't even have to end spoiler time because there was no spoilers. Let's begin.
Satoko, it's time to clean up, or else we will get sleepy.
Okay. It was when we were all watching TV while enjoying some tea after dinner. Rika-chan let out a big yawn and then spoke. Satoko and I both then looked at the clock and noticed how late it had gotten. No, perhaps we both realized it already. We just didn't want this warm moment to end. Maybe we didn't want to say anything.
Oh, this will not do! I still haven't washed the dishes yet!
Don't worry about it. I can do that much at least. You made a great dinner, so I can't let you do the dishes too.
Are you sure you'll be alright? When people who are not used to it try and wash them, the soap can make the dishes slip out of their hands, you know.
Gee, she's turned into a perfect nagging little sister. It was charming and awkward. Emotions like that were all mixed up inside me. I gave her a vague, dry smile.
Keiichi can at least wash dishes. If you break one and hurt yourself, I'll give you pettings at school tomorrow.
Yeah. Rika-chan yawned again, so wide you could see her molars. That's a great description, dude.
Is it really alright? Keiichi-san is pretty unreliable despite how he looks.
Give me a break. Looks like Keiichi's approval ratings have plummeted in Satoko's mind. Don't worry, I'll clean those dishes up no problem. So don't worry about it and go home. Actually, at this hour, I can't let you two go home by yourselves. You might get kidnapped and murdered by some crazy green-haired bitch. I'll take you there. Let me find the key for my bike.
Once you've taken us home, Keiichi-san will be the one going home by himself. You'll be in big trouble if you get lost on the roads at night and end up in Takatsudo. There's no houses or lights out there at all.
I was trying to worry about them going home, but I didn't think they'd be worried about me getting lost. Am I really that unreliable? She really is being critical, but yeah. This feeling I have, it's not bad. Alright, guy. Guy, yeah, sure. So I ended up not needing to escort them. I saw Satoko and Rika-chan to the gate. Thanks a lot for today. Thanks to you, I got a good cultural dinner. Cultural, sure.
If Satoko hadn't come, Keiichi would be growling and yowling right now. Truly! It's really good that we came.
They really saved me. I could have burned to death. I gave them another bow filled with gratitude. Holy fuck, Tonka trucks, get out of here.
Oh, yes! I put the rice and side dishes into a container, so use that for your bento tomorrow. And for breakfast, you can eat some bread and jam. Strawberry jam and peanut butter were in your refrigerator, on the middle shelf to the right. Cocoa powder, too, was in the upper right door of the cupboard.
I know all that, so you don't have to go into detail. And I was about to say that, but I decided to humbly listen to her. It was then that I finally realized that Satoko, who had appeared to be in a bad mood, was in fact in a great one, just like Rika-chan said. And that though she nagged a lot, she was very kind.
Then, good night. Make sure to brush your teeth before you go to bed. You have to do it for at least 5 minutes.
5? What the fuck? I got it, Satoko. I'll brush my teeth and make breakfast for tomorrow. And I'll be sure not to forget the bento.
You need to wake up earlier than usual, or you won't be able to get your breakfast or bento ready. Got it? If you like, I can give you a call a little earlier to wake you up instead of using your alarm clock.
You don't have to go that far. I'll set my alarm clock to wake me up a little early. Thanks for being so concerned about me. Satoko looked like she had more fault-finding to do. But she stopped and, leaving me with a good night, got on her bike and disappeared down the nighttime road. Rika-chan went to do the same, but then remembered something and came back. Well, what's wrong, Rika-chan? Did you forget something?
Keiichi, you get 100 points for today. Clap, clap, clap.
Rika-chan suddenly complimented me. She clapped her small hands. What was she on about? I didn't do anything worthy of praise, did I? I nearly burned down the house after all.
Satoko probably felt like her Nini had come home. And I think she was having a lot of fun. Once in a while, I want you to go along with Satoko's scolding in the future.
Are you telling me to be like an older brother that she can scold instead of Satoshi? Rika-chan didn't say anything. She just smiled and went all Nipa. Of course she did. This Satoshi person. He has such a great little sister, so what was he unhappy about? If I were Satoshi, I would never have run away from home.
Satoshi had his own circumstances, I'm sure.
I didn't know what he was unhappy with, but whatever the reason, it was no excuse for abandoning Satoko. I hope he comes back soon. I probably can't play the role of her actual Nini forever, you know?
It's okay. You were just like Satoshi today. Please, do it again sometime.
If that's what would make Satoko happy, I'd take on this easy role whenever I needed to.
Rika!
Satoko stopped her bike under a distant exterior light and called out to her friend, who wasn't coming no matter how long she waited.
Okay, I have to go. Good night.
Yeah, night.
I can't replace Satoshi, but Keiichi can do it. That's one less piece of baggage I need to shoulder.
Of course, describe it like that. Leaving me with that, Rika-chan sped off on her bike. She rode up next to Satoko, and then the two of them disappeared in the blink of an eye. Satoshi. Seriously, come back soon, got it? If you come home really late, I'll punch you right in the nose. Let's try our best until that day comes, Satoko. Even if I could no longer hear the sounds of their bicycles, I stood there for a while, seeing them off. Yeah, I figured I was this close to the end of a chapter. Oh well. That's just what happens sometimes. Alrighty. Got any tips, or are you just moving on to the next chapter? Yep, you do have one. Satoko's Trap Course Elementary. Okay. Oh, achievement unlocked. You're on fire! Ah! Burning! Alright. Just cracking my back real quick because it hurts. Okay. I know one thing for sure. Satoko could fend off an entire army division by holing up in this mountain. I know all about it. Satoko was appointed to the special forces of that one country, where she served as an instructor training on traps.
Stop saying weird things. Somebody help me!
Wait, what? How did it come to this? What traps did we fall for, and how did we fall for them? Mion was caught in a profusely thin pitfall she couldn't escape from, and only her head was poking above the ground. Jesus. Rena's head was completely covered by a tin bucket. She was squirming around in a vain attempt to remove it. Either of these were really funny, but that's where it ended. At least they had their feet on the ground. Let me guess, you're upside down, aren't you? Kei-chan, what about you? Think you can get out of that? Hurry up and get out so you can save this old man. You're the one who should be breaking out and saving me, Mion. What do you expect me to do in this freaking bamboo mat? Oh. I was wrapped up in a bamboo mat and hanging 2 meters above the ground. I don't know exactly what a bamboo mat is, but I'd imagine probably strong. What was this trap and how did I fall into it? Huh? It was Satoko. This all started when they suggested that I was unfamiliar with nature, having grown up in the city, and proposed a little exploration on the mountain.
But Rena doesn't really know how it is back there either. Rena might get lost.
The mountain outback, huh? I played there a lot when I was little, but I haven't gone there for years. If you get lost out there, things can get pretty dangerous.
You can leave the mountain to us. The whole thing is our playground. Isn't that right, Rika? You.
Oh, I see. How reassuring. We'll defer to you two this time and have you be our tour guides.
Wait, Keiichi-kun. The summer vacation guidebook says not to play on the mountain because you'll get lost. It isn't summer vacation yet, so it's alright. We know the path, so there's no need to worry. The mountain has always been our playground. Our backyard. We know all the secret paths and shortcuts.
Yes, both Satoko and Rika-chan knew the path like the back of their hands. Thanks to them, we had our fill of fresh air, gorgeous views, and Mother Nature, the likes of which you could never see in the village. Things got strange partway through.
Oh yes! Everyone, I have something to say. From here on, you must follow exactly where I go.
Huh? What are you talking about all of a sudden?
It would be safer to do as Satoko says. Oh my! Hey, Michan, look at this! What is it? Should I pull it? Should I?
Suddenly, squeak, crash. Uh-oh. When Rena pulled the kite string, a bundle of bamboo spears fastened to a tree branch all came raining down with a clatter right next to where Rena was standing. What is this? What? What? Ah!
That brings back memories. Satoko made this trap in the second semester of 2nd grade. That was a close one. The tips of the spears are covered in dog poop, so if one of them hurts you, the wound will start to fester.
When did this turn into some guerrilla battlefield? According to Satoko and Rika-chan, earlier in elementary school, Satoko had been on a trap-making craze and set them up along every inch of this mountain. Great.
Keiichi-kun, maybe they didn't tell us not to go on the mountain because we'd get lost, but because it was dangerous?
Mion and I both nodded wholeheartedly at Rena's hypothesis.
Come now, we are hurrying on ahead. If we do not return soon, it will get dark. If it gets dark, it may even become dangerous for me.
But you're the one who brought us to this crazy mountain. Why was an average, healthy Japanese boy like me being forced to deal with life-threatening booby traps? And then, the very moment Satoko and Rika-chan got just out of sight was when the three of us all got caught in nice little traps together. Someone get me out! I have to go to the bathroom!
Never mind that. Someone get the bucket off me. I can't see in front of me.
Wait, Rena, don't struggle around so much. It's okay.
You saw? You saw? Keiichi-kun, you saw?
Oh, smash, crash, smash, 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 crash, bash. Okay. Of course you can see them! Maybe in a bucket, but you can definitely... And then Keiichi died. Bucket Rena was using me as a sandbag, and Mion was crying. Bucket Rena, what a great character.
You can't get out of the pitfall? How sad, how sad. Jeez, didn't I already tell you all? You weren't supposed to leave my side!
I finally had an epiphany. Satoko had been so bent on taking everyone out to the mountain because she wanted to brag about all the traps she set up here over the years. You could have stopped just as showing them to us. I didn't need to experience how it felt firsthand. Rika-chan pets our three heads in sequence in an incredibly satisfied mood. Alright, I forgot that was a tip. Alright, continue. Alrighty. What's next? Okay. Anyway, lunchtime has finally arrived. Mion gleefully announced the beginning of lunch.
Oh, lunchtime at last! Someone here will have to play the punishment game, yes? Huh? The punishment this time, it's a little scary, so... Sorry, but Rena went all out on making her bento.
In Rena's case, I don't think she'd lose even if she wasn't taking it seriously.
We tried our hardest too.
Satoko and Rika-chan made separate lunches today? Usually you have the same bento, but that won't do for the showdown today, will it?
Yes, it's quite alright. Rika and I made sure to make separate ones. Wow, Satoko-chan and Rika-chan both tried really hard. How exciting!
What's a little surprising is that Kei-chan was able to make a bento. Good job, Kei-chan. It looks like you really can do it if you try. I scratched my head and gave her a dry smile. My bento today had been entirely made by Satoko last night. It had none of my personality, so there wasn't anything there that they could praise me for.
What does Keiichi-kun's bento look like? I can't wait to see!
Don't expect too much. Just the leftover rice and side dishes from last night.
Leftovers are the foundation of bentos. Oh, now we'll know your dinner last night too! We'll kill two birds with one stone!
Was it really better to hide the fact that Satoko came over and made dinner last night? Well, of course it was. If I revealed that I didn't make my own bento, I'd be sure to end up playing the punishment game. Today's punishment game was to stand right in front of the curry maniac Chie-sensei and say bad things about curry. It wasn't too different from telling someone to jump out of a 100th story window, okay? It was exactly the same as telling someone to die.
But, Mi-chan, how will we decide who wins and loses the bento showdown? Keiichi-kun made his own too, so maybe we should call it a draw for today? We could do that. The punishment game yesterday was sort of a whip to encourage Keiichi-san to cook for himself after all. And Keiichi made his own too, so it's a draw.
My simple bento with last night's leftovers could never have stood up to someone else's bento that they made to win. I fully understood Satoko and Rika-chan's concern for me as they tried to end the showdown peaceably. However, the club president, Mion Sonozaki, would not be convinced by something like that. I wonder why you're all so optimistic. Leaving one of our showdowns in such a gray area is out of the question. Now that we've clashed, we must settle the score. Reconciling with a draw? Do you think we're just kidding around? I knew you'd say that. There's no way you'd end it that way with your battle lust. This was bad. At this rate, I was sure to be the sole loser. But, well, I didn't make this bento after all. Maybe I need to resign myself to my inevitable loss.
Okay, me. How are we going to decide who wins?
It won't be fair if we grade each other's. Let's do an open judgment. Okay, everyone, assemble! Mion commanded everyone who had just started eating using her club president voice. Like the other students, come and judge our 5 bento! Write your favorite 3 on a piece of paper and submit it. Understand? Everyone in the class was used to being dragged into Mion's club activities. Yeah! Came the energetic voices from here and there. Everyone already knew that the showdown this time involved an utterly fatal punishment game, and they were all very interested in what would happen to whoever lost. Of course, they wanted the thrill of seeing something terrifying. Okay, everyone ready? Then I'll go first, alright? Ta-da! In exaggerated fashion, Mion pulled the lid off her multi-tiered ornate bento box. Multiple cheers of joy erupted at the brilliant sight.
That's amazing! It's just like New Year's food!
It can't be. It has to be a lie. She must have switched the contents with a catered bento. Such purely Japanese cooking. Mion Sonozaki couldn't possibly make this!
Nope, this is easy for Mi-chan if she gets serious. She almost never gets serious, though.
Cuckoo. Just who do you think this old man is? Given enough time and ingredients, I could even reproduce the Manchu Han Imperial Feast. Cuckoo. The entire classroom gulped audibly, and everyone wrote down a score on the notepaper in their hands simultaneously. It made sense, just the visual impact would give her a perfect score. Alright, let's see Rena's next. Rena's really good at cooking too.
Rena's bento is always like a flower arrangement. Thanks, everyone. I'll reveal my bento now. Eh?
Rena's bento was a beautiful mix of the 2 colors of eggs and minced meat, and it too was a bento staple. The Soboro bento, whatever that means. She had been thorough with the side dishes as well, and they were abundant in number. She had spent more time than usual on it, but it was unassuming and truly nonchalant. One couldn't ignore the household warmth in it that Mion's bento lacked.
If I may say, you've done it again! This should get quite a high score!
I should have known. It may look rigid, but there isn't anything to deduct points from. Amazing as always. Once again, every one of the judges wrote a score on their notepaper at the same time. There seemed to be some who were revising their opinions when they compared it to Mion's score too. The whole classroom seemed split between Mion and Rena, and on everyone's face it was clear that they all wanted to be tasting them rather than scoring them.
Then we'll be next. Yes! I will now reveal mine!
Come to think of it, Satoko and Rika-chan ate with me last night at my house. It was impressive that they still made a bento. Both their bentos were clearly lacking compared to Mion's artfulness and Rena's perfection. However, because of that, you could sense from them how hard they worked. The toppings were a little on the rough side, but you could still feel that they tried their hardest. It made you feel a little biased so that you'd give them more points. A few people struck by just that once again revised their opinions and wrote in scores on their notepaper. Satoko, Rika-chan, you both made really good bentos today. They may not measure up to Rena or Mion's craftsmanship, but when you think about that, they're pretty amazing. Satoko and Rika-chan glanced at each other and grinned happily.
This is a secret, okay? Matter.
What? When Satoko told me, I broke off from the others and secretly looked for my classmates' bento boxes. There, Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun's bento boxes. I took a quick peek inside and... half of the contents were missing! Not bad! In the end, Satoko and Rika-chan hadn't made bento today. A bold move. They got Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun to share their bentos with them. Hey, Tomita-kun, Okamura-kun, how did I buy you out? What are you saying, Mayabara-san? When did we get bought out and for what? That's right. It's not like we traded them our duty watering the garden for half our bentos. Curse you, Satoko. What an impudent trick! Satoko grinned, showing her fang-like canines, and laughed in triumph. What is it with teeth in this chapter? Christ.
Oh, this is only something I learned from you, Keiichi-san. Oh! Yes, oh.
Now, how naive. Buying them out with watering duty alone? They're men. If you're going to buy them out, you need to use something a lot spicier than that. For example, like giving them 3 tickets to walk Satoko and Rika-chan around like dogs all day, with them on all fours, wearing tails and with leashes around their necks. Whoa! That might be enough to get me to do anything? As I was lost in my wild fantasies, Mion caught me on the shoulder and called me back to reality. Damn, it was just getting good. Alright. Alright! Next up is Kei-chan's bento. We're all hoping for something pretty great because of your declaration yesterday. But how did it really turn out?
Keiichi-kun can do it if he needs to. Rena was really excited for today.
They're all looking forward to it. But it's really just leftovers from dinner last night. I didn't even make it either. How's that supposed to stand up to Mion and Rena and the others? Ah, that's it! Feast your eyes on this! Ah! I tore the lid off my bento box. There weren't very many cheers. Well, I guess there wouldn't be.
Keiichi-kun, you tried your hardest too. Rena can tell how hard you worked.
Rena, don't feel like you need to compliment me.
How did this happen? Was Keiichi-san actually a hard worker after all?
Well, I mean, I want to acknowledge how hard you tried, but for this showdown, it doesn't matter. Mion's cold, mean laugh. It was like it spoke for everyone's opinion, just like that.
Keiichi-kun did really well considering it was his first challenge, you know? I think maybe everyone should rate his a little higher. But for the showdown, it doesn't matter.
Alright, Kei-chan. If you have any last words before we tally up the results, I'll listen to them now. What do you mean by last words? I mean that you might be hoping for a few extra points if you appeal somehow to the crowd. After all, for today's showdown, you just need to avoid coming in last. If you do well enough, then maybe you'll be able to worm out of the punishment game.
Oh! You are implying that Keiichi-san's bento is going to take last place, aren't you?
No, this old man wasn't trying to say anyone's bento came in last or anything. Mion cackled repulsively. In contrast, Satoko's smile was growing somehow awkward. Oh, right. This bento was filled with last night's side dishes. That means it was basically a bento that Satoko made. And Mion outright said it would come in last place. Oh.
Mi-chan, aren't you being a little mean? Poor Keiichi-kun.
Rena, Kei-chan knew he couldn't lose today's bento showdown beforehand, didn't he? He did all that grandstanding yesterday, well aware of that. I don't think there's any reason to go easy on him, do you? Right, Satoko?
Yes! You are right! And he came here with this mess. It makes me laugh! Wait, Satoko-chan, you can't laugh at him. But that bento is just so ridiculous I can't help but laugh. These side dishes look like they were bought from a shop. It's really disillusioning.
Look, this one was just taken out of a can, wasn't it? This cucumber here isn't cut cleanly, like the knife didn't go all the way through. Kei-chan, you never used the knife, did you? Your lack of experience is apparent.
No, this goes beyond a simple lack of experience.
The presentation is fairly monotonous as well. It's almost a shock to see such a lack of taste. It was my first experience putting food into a bento box, so of course it's not going to look too good. Kei-chan, there's a bigger problem than how you put it into the box. Tomita, Okamura, explain, please. Uh-oh. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were chosen from our many underclassmen. Tomita-kun quickly adjusted his glasses and took a step forward. The fatal flaw in Mayabara-san's bento. It's the coloration. As you know, there are 3 primary colors forming the basis of all colors. Alright, what's with this fucking shit? So if you want a well-balanced color scheme, then excluding white and black, you need those 3 colors. And, nevertheless, if you remove the white and black from Mayabara-san's bento, all that would be left is dark green. Dark green. No one would want to eat it if you describe it like that. I'd forgotten. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun had been bought out by Rika-chan and Satoko, so they were trying their hardest to let them win and make me lose, weren't they? What strong wills they have. It was charming if only because they were working so hard despite having been bought out. The side dishes have no spirit in them either. They're all pre-packaged or canned food. In other words, out of the 3 necessary requirements for a bento, love, spirit, and taste, we can assert that Mayabara-san's bento is lacking 2 of these. The classroom, convinced by the elucidation of the mystery they were thoroughly baffled with, raised mysterious groans of admiration. Cuckoo. No heart and no spirit. It's decided then. Keiichi Mayabara.
This may sound cold, but if you realize how much fun cooking is because of all this, Keiichi-kun, isn't that enough? Enough? In any case, everything is fine as long as I'm not doing the punishment game.
Rena was giving a dry smile as well.
Oh, it's been settled, Keiichi-san. You're going to be the one doing the punishment game.
She laughed in such a vile manner, but she didn't look like she meant it. I knew that Satoko was speaking ill of a bento that she'd practically made herself in front of the whole classroom, and I could tell how painful that laughter was. Okamura-kun said before that this bento lacked spirit. That among all the bento laid out here today, there wasn't a single one with as much spirit as this one. This meal that she made for me yesterday in such a good mood, though it looked like she was in a bad one. I won't let it end with this slander.
Well then, last place, Keiichi-san. Please admit your honest defeat already.
Could you wait just a moment? When I began to speak in a low voice, the expressions of all the members of the club changed. Mion clicked her tongue. This man was baring his fangs at the last moment again. My bento was defeated because it lacked spirit. That's how you explained it. Am I wrong, Okamura-kun? Okamura-kun, who had suddenly been placed in the spotlight, looked flustered for a moment, but immediately he stammered in reply that I was right. Oh, okay. How do you measure spirit? By difficulty? By effort? By sweat or tears? By its manifestation? Then, how would you rate these burns that are still on my hands?
Wow, Keiichi-kun, those are oil burns?
Great. The burn marks from when I almost caused a fire yesterday look just like I was having a ton of trouble cooking. Well, you were. I could clearly tell that the classroom was forced to acknowledge the effort I put into it. I see. To turn your failures at cooking due to a lack of skill into scars of hard work instead. As I thought, I cannot falter around this man. That's right. I lack skill. I'm so bad at cooking that my grandstanding yesterday was pitiful. But I didn't run away. I fought, and I delivered these results. Is that not spirit? What do you think?
Rena wants to acknowledge it. Nobody can keep on going if their defiant spirit doesn't get valued.
The girls in the class started to nod in agreement. Okay, the tables are turning. But Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun, bought out by the objects of their unrequited affection, weren't about to lose either. They shifted to the counterattack, clearly exceeding the price they were paid. I see. I understand your feelings, Mayabara-san. However, if spirit was all that mattered in cooking, the world wouldn't need chefs. That's right. If a chef brought you burned steak and said they put their spirit into it and tried hard, would you pay them? You wouldn't, would you? It's the same thing. That's right, that's how it goes. The male students took Tomita and Okamura's side. They did have a point. What about consideration? Even if you did get a totally black steak. If I knew how much the mother who made it struggled, I would eat it! I would eat it all! Clap, 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 clap. This time the female students in the class took my side, simp. Good! Now we're even! Besides, a bento is a refinement of one's love given form. It only means something when the other person feels that way. Does your bento make us feel that way, Mayabara-san? No, it doesn't make me feel that way. You're mean! The girls in the class began to boo loudly at his remark. Now even Okamura-san was panicking. Order. Will the spectators please refrain from making remarks? Your Honor! In order to prove how much of my spirit has gone into this bento, I call Miss Ryugu Rena, an authority in the culinary arts, to the stand.
Rena thinks this bento has spirit in it. It might be rather artless in places. But I think cooking isn't just about outward appearances.
The girls in the class again gave cries of support as they all applauded. In response, all the men in the class began to boo. What is this battle of the sexes bullshit? Your Honor! The opinions of Mayabara-san and Ryugu-san are extremely sentimental and aren't in following with common sense. They are unsuitable to use as evidence. Order! The prosecution's objection is sustained. Go ahead. Ahem. Let's replace the bento in question with a birthday present, for example. Let's say on my birthday, I, Tomita, received a hand-knitted sweater. And he, Okamura, received a bookstore gift certificate for 10,000 yen. That felt strangely real. Was it actually just an example? Common sense dictates which of them has the spirit. It is, of course, the hand-knitted sweater. If we went back to the bento, this would be hand-mated side dishes. Did I say hand-mated? I did, didn't I? And the gift certificate, which is nothing more than money, allows you to buy things. In other words, it's the same as simple, meaningless canned goods. Murmur. The boys and girls all began to argue amongst themselves about presents. They were all talking about what they received as presents in the past. Damn! Tomita-kun. He changed the subject to something that could easily grab everyone's attention. Not bad. I'll lose the initiative at this rate. Objection! This matter regards the spirit put into the bento. It is entirely different from birthday presents, as they are each unique situations. Overruled. Will the prosecution please continue? Damn! Now then, what's important here is the fact that the spirit of the giver and spirit of the receiver are totally different. Between the handmade sweater that looks a little bit askew and the 10,000 yen bookstore certificate placed here before your very eyes, which would you say is a better choice? The gift certificate, right? It's 10,000 yen! 10,000! Can you calculate how many comic books you could buy with that? You could instantly complete a full collection if it was around 10 volumes long! Dozens of happy, humorous manga! The bliss of your suit's heart can't be compared to the sweater! The boys unanimously praised that with applause. Materialistic brats. Ugh. But all guys that age are like that. Even I would choose the gift certificate over the sweater in that case. Hey, wait. Weren't you guys the one who said it was about love, spirit, and taste right at the start? Since when did taste trump all? That's the stance they were taking now. I believe this is demonstrated that the spirit of the giver and the spirit of the receiver have no causal relationship. Yes! No matter how much Mayabara-san struggled to make this bento. That cannot enter into consideration for the rest of us on the receiving end! Mere sophistry, Tomita-kun. It has plenty of spirit. Whether that gets through or not is the receiver's problem. That's right! Boo! Taste is the most important. Enemy of women! What was that? Christ. Now the courtroom is in chaos. But I can't allow myself to lose. And not only to avoid the punishment game, but also to protect Satoko's honor. Now then, do the defendants have a response to give? Slowly and strongly, I nod and step up to the dais. Or dice, whatever that word is. Tomita-kun, Okamura-kun, do you two really think you can beat me with mere words? The prosecution just said that we should value the gift without basing it on the spirit of the giver. Correct? At some point, I began speaking formally. Yes, that's right! No matter how much you labored to make that bento, that labor should not factor into our grading. Then I have a question for the prosecution. If I, Mayabara, were to take the bento I made for today and place it beside one bought from the store, would both of these be given the same score? The prosecution hesitated to speak. Got you! That's right! A convenience store bento doesn't even come close to a handmade one! No matter how badly made it has far more spirit than a bento that you just bought would ever have! You see, that spirit is being graded! Meaning, the spirit the cook put into the bento has already reached the recipients! Admit it! Boom! With those impactful words drawn in the air behind me, I pointed my finger. The girls, led by Rena, broke into applause. Some of the boys were admitting it too. I'll admit it. You admitted it? You admitted it, right? Then let's move to why a convenience store bento has no spirit in it. What exactly is the spirit in a bento in the first place? Objection! Mayabara-san is trying to deceive the court by using abstract expressions. Objection overruled. This sounds interesting, so listen until he's done. Got them. Now I'll show you two the difference between us. Your Honor, I'd like to call Miss Rika Furude to the stand as a witness.
Me.
Even for Rika-chan, that must have seemed like a bolt from the blue. There's no doubt that she never dreamed the point of my spear would be aiming at her. But Rika-chan, you said it before. For this showdown, it doesn't matter. Rika Furude-san, your bento today was very well made. It looks delicious.
Me?
Yes. Satoko and Rika-chan's bentos had been made of half of Tomita-kun's and Okamura-kun's. The prosecutor's faces turned pale, but they were too late. Rena, would you bring Okamura-kun's bento over here?
Huh? Okay, sure.
Your Honor! My bento has no relevance to this case. Overruled. Cuckoo. Your Honor, I submit Okamura-kun's bento box as evidence. Look at it! Look at what's inside! Cuckoo, there's only half in there. It's not about whether there's half. Please look a little more closely. See? Ah, they're exactly the same! Your Honor, you've seen it! Miss Rika Furude's bento is stolen from Okamura-kun's! There's no way such a thing could have spirit in it! No, but that's just a coincidence! It's already obvious! Spirit. It's a game of catch between the giver and the receiver. The bento box, then, is the ball! That bento was something Okamura-kun was given, from mother to son. That means Okamura-kun is the only one who can feel the spirit from this bento box. Now that it's been disturbed and been stolen, it no longer has that spirit. Dun dun dun! Yay, that did it!
Huh? What? Is that true? Rika-chan, is that true? Meep. Meepa.
Cuckoo. I see how it is. Mion the judge folded her arms and began to hum. I couldn't even take a guess as to what Mion was laughing about. Frankly, I didn't know whether I would win or lose. Okay, before announcing my judgment, I'll start from the top. Shh. The entire classroom quieted. First, from an objective standpoint, there is no doubt that the bento of the accused, Keiichi Mayabara, must be seen as poorly made. This is something that the grading results clearly display. Gah! But as Kei-chan said, cooking is not all about taste. The spirit put into it should be considered subtle seasoning. For grading, though, that would only amount to a few points. It's so subtle that it's not enough to alter the results. Ugh! Now then, I'd like to mention the original reason for today's bento showdown. What was the reason for it? That's right. We started it to see whether the accused, Keiichi Maebara, could cook for himself, and to measure the result.
Yeah, that's right. Keiichi-kun did make his own bento.
That stung my conscience a bit. But for the showdown, it didn't matter. So, the whole basis behind the showdown was to cook a meal for yourself. In other words, whether or not the meal was homemade. Rika-chan neglecting to do that is a much bigger problem than how good her bento is. In other words, is she disqualified?
Nipa.
Rika-chan let out a nipa, looking as though she had prepared herself for this outcome. Don't take it personally, Rika-chan. At our club, things like that don't matter.
Keiichi did well, like I thought. You tried your hardest until the very end.
Rika-chan demanded I lower my head, and then she pet it. With that over with, this case is closed. Today, last place goes to Rika Furude. Whoa! That miraculous turnaround. And last place went to Rika-chan, the one everyone had least expected. The whole classroom went wild.
I'm amazed you managed to avoid coming in last place with such a terrible bento.
Satoko looked at me hatefully, but spoke in a vague kind of voice. There's no way I'd come in last. There's nothing in this bento that would deserve last place.
But it's all poorly made side dishes and canned goods. It has no style and...
Grab. Satoko was speaking more and more poorly of herself as time went on, so I roughly grabbed her head and began to stroke it. I told you! Spirit is important. This bento isn't all about appearance. It's got all kinds of flavors in it.
But spirit isn't the only thing. It tastes totally weird and...
What about it is weird? I thought it was great. It was absolutely great. That's why I packed it. If dinner last night had been bad, then I would have never brought it to school. I would have come here with some bread and a milk carton.
But...
Oh, just shut up already. I caressed her head, swinging it from side to side. At some point, Rena had come up behind us. She was giggling to herself. That was the face of someone who had known everything from the beginning. When did you realize I hadn't made it?
When you showed us your burns, I guess? I mean, there's nothing in your bento that you needed oil for. Rena-san, don't you think you were misunderstanding something? I didn't do anything. Huh? Satoko-chan, you weren't the one who made this bento? Then did Keiichi-kun make it by himself after all? Okay, then I guess he did.
Rena smiled roguishly and turned from Satoko to me.
When you cut cucumbers, you hold the knife like this, and go like this. As for the colors, you can express all sorts of things if you place vegetables in the right way.
This lecture was clearly not meant for me.
But you've gotten a lot better since the last time you showed us. I see you've been studying. If you keep this up, I bet you'll be able to make better and better dishes in no time.
She continued saying words clearly meant for Satoko while facing me instead. Satoko was wearing an ambiguous look and couldn't even nod her head at her. Anyway, no matter what anyone says, I like the way my bento is today. I'm not gonna share it with anyone else either! I'll eat the whole thing by myself!
Wow, how greedy! Rena wants to try some too!
As we were going back and forth, Satoko rubbed her eyes as though she was drowsy, then announced to Mion and everyone else,
Excuse me! The truth is, I got Tomita-san to give me some of his bento!
Stupid! Hojo, what are you saying? If she kept it a secret, then at least she would have been saved. Tomita-kun looked at her with an expression filled with regret and surprise. Huh? Is that true? Really? Oh my. Mion spun her finger around and pointed to the hallway, sentencing Satoko to the punishment game as well. Satoko left the classroom behind her, completely prepared, as though she was going with Rika-chan on an errand.
I can't let Rika go alone. I will accompany her to the very depths of hell.
Okay.
You don't need to go that far. My word, Keiichi-san really is terrible too. humiliating only Rika like that. He is truly a rotten person.
I didn't mean... I couldn't just return Satoko's kindness with malice.
Hey, Satoko really is silly.
Rika-chan spoke so that only I could hear, grinning happily.
Now then, let us be off, Rika. Punishment games are one of our duties as club members.
Satoko seemed awfully happy, not frustrated in the slightest, like she always was when she lost. Damn, Rika-chan's right after all. Everyone here is a moron. Mion, how come Queen too? I didn't make my bento today. I was the same, so I'm going with them for the punishment game. Huh? Even you, Kei-chan? What's going on?
Good luck! With the punishment game, I mean. I'll get the first aid kit ready.
You see, from the way she laughed there, I would have thought it was a Danganronpa reference if I didn't already know this game was made, like, way before Danganronpa. Granted, that's oohoo-hoo instead of oopoo-poo, but still. Call an ambulance in advance, will you? And maybe a hearse, just in case. Leaving bewildered Mion and a happily smiling Rena behind in the classroom, I went into the hallway.
What are you doing? You finally won for once! I had no idea you had such an odd taste for these punishment games that you'd go so far as to volunteer yourself for one.
Guess so. It's a little much for a hobby, eh?
I swear! I think you're underestimating this one. We're one thing, but grave harm might actually befall you, Keiichi-san. And I hope you're ready to have 1 or 2 ribs broken.
That sounds like it would hurt. I don't like getting hurt.
Keiichi-san, you just stand there and nod along, okay? Rika and I will smooth it over. I swear. I can't believe I have to look at you, even during a punishment game. Seriously.
I already knew that her pouty behavior was a sign that she was actually in a really good mood. So it made me want to smile. Hey, I do want to eat some vegetable stir-fry. Satoko, can you make that?
What? Well, there's nothing I can't do if I put my mind to it. She can make it very well. I really like Satoko's stir-fry.
She was uneasy at first, but when she got assurance from Rika-chan, she turned back and looked at me with once more confident eyes. It's settled then. Let's go shopping for stuff after school today. I don't really have any idea what to buy after all.
That is true, isn't it? I think it's still too early for you to go shopping at the supermarket, Keiichi-san. It would make me anxious if I wasn't watching. And Satoko makes me anxious that she'll buy the wrong thing if I'm not watching. Rika! Meep.
The conversation continued as we walked until we arrived before the door to the teacher's lounge. Okay, let's get this punishment game over with and discuss the menu for tonight.
Meep.
Rika-chan gleefully grabbed onto my arm. In turn, I pulled Satoko to me, grabbing her shoulder with my other hand. We'll all be together in death. I won't let anyone die alone.
We're all together. I won't let anybody die alone. What an indiscreet thing to say. I want no part in something so disturbing.
She may have sounded annoyed, but she was so happy if it was gonna make me blush. All right, just beyond this door is the world after death. However, we shall return. All of us will.
Yes, everyone will. Then, let us sally forth.
Slam! We opened a doorway to the world of death. And like she did every day, just as the sun rose in the eastern sky, Chie-sensei was eating curry for lunch. It was store-bought, but she made a point of eating a different brand every day. Oh my! Mayabara-kun, Furude-san, and Hojo-san. Is something the matter? She appeared to be in the middle of a moment of supreme bliss, her mouth full of her beloved curry. And we were to pick a fight with her. What a crime this punishment game would be. However, it was what we had to do. For that was the rule of our club. The three of us held each other's shoulders tightly once more. Alright, let's do this. Ready?
What do you mean, ready? Keiichi-san, you're going to stay quiet. Rika and I will handle everything. Entrust your life to me for now. Go for it. Yay.
What are you all doing? We can see 2 or 3 question marks popping up above the teacher's head. Alright, Satoko. This is the only time I'll trust you with my life. Because I'll be shutting my eyes tightly and only thinking about what we'll be having for dinner. I'm leaving it to you. Satoko inhaled deeply. And so...
Hey! You over there? You stuck-up curry snob. You're single because you smell like garlic.
And... okay. Really? Okay. Yeah, just end it like that, why don't ya? Man, this arc really was short. I can't believe it. Chie was behind everything all along. How shocking. Alright, well I think I'm gonna end things here because my throat hurts. So, yeah, plus I'm hungry, like fucking really hungry. You know, I think I'll make, I don't know. I was gonna make a joke, but I don't know what to say. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode then, guys. If you liked it, then be sure to press the like button, and if you didn't like it, then fuck you too. Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name is Godzi, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye!